Hey, welcome back to Cross TV with your boy, the Cross Sports Edition. Today we're going to talk about them birds, them O's, the black and orange, trying to make a little splash. Everybody know last year pitching did us in, giving up all those runs. Offense had to try to come back. Bullpen was pretty solid. So sound like we trying to get Joe Ryan. He's a pretty good guy. On on our squad, he'll be the ace starting pitcher.
So, could the Minnesota Twins be trading away Joe Ryan to the Baltimore Orioles this 2026 MLB offseason? Well, here on the screen is a trade proposal and a snippet of an article from BleacherReport.com. The link to this article is down below in case you want to go ahead and check it out for yourself. But it says Trade Package B. The Baltimore Orioles send Jordan Westberg and outfielder Nate George to the Minnesota Twins for Joe Ryan and Cole Sands. Parting with Westberg would be a switch, or would be such sweet sorrow, but the Orioles do have quite the surplus of infielders. If they're reasonably confident in Kobe Mayo as the primary third baseman, the drop in production from Westberg to Mayo would probably pale in comparison to the improvement of the starting rotation with Joe Ryan as the ace of the staff. So the O's have actually done a pretty good job this offseason adding to their team.
I don't know about that. Westberg, he is a fan favorite, back in Camden Yards. I don't know because baseball, that's a long season. Mayo, he does his thing. He swings a sweet bat, but injuries happen, and just to give up West, ah, I don't know, but we are pretty desperate for strong starting pitching because last year's staff, yes.
Either through free agency, but also the trade market as well. So they're in a really good spot. Like, they, of course, made a big time splash up front with Pete Alonso. They made that trade with the Angels for Taylor Ward. They also, got some other players in free agency as well. I mean, they brought on Trevor Rogers. They got Shane Baz from Tampa. So honestly, like, this team's really solid. I think they're going to be much improved once again in 2026. They took a bit of a step back in 2025, but they have a good blend of a young core and some good veterans on this roster. So I think it's probably
Take a step back, by the All Star break, we gave up a lot of our top tier players. And surprisingly, we were still competitive after the All Star break, but we just couldn't get over that hump. We had to fire, Hyde, in the beginning of the season, because we just started off horrible, and we just never got back on track. But starting pitching, just ouch, it was brutal.
in the best interest for a team like the Orioles to maybe, get a little bit disposable with those young players, perhaps put them on the trade market, get back some veterans in return. And if you're able to land Joe Ryan, who's arguably one of the top pitchers on the trade market this offseason, that would be a difference maker for them big time. Because if they wanted to go ahead and really establish their starting pitching, getting a legitimate ace caliber guy like Joe Ryan makes a lot of sense. Like, as of right now, they have Trevor Rogers, Kyle Bradish, Shane Baz, Dean Kramer, Zach Eflin as kind of the projected depth chart for them with the rotation according to Fangraphs. So if you're able to throw in someone obviously Joe Ryan under team control for a couple more seasons, you're not going to pay this guy in the immediate. You also have three really solid pitchers with Rogers, Shane Baz, and you have some other good players as well. So this would all of a sudden be a really deep rotation. You could perhaps get flexible and have a six-man. Maybe you put one of these guys in the bullpen and strengthen that aspect of your team. Whatever the case may be, the Orioles have some flexibility there. As alluded to, right, trading someone like Jordan Westberg is a little bit of a gamble for them. He's a pretty solid player, former first-round draft pick, but truthfully, if you're able to land yourself someone like, someone like Joe Ryan, I would make this trade every day of the week because it increases your chances of having a really good rotation in a very tough division. So if I had to pick a winner for this trade, I'm going to go with Joe Ryan here, going to the Baltimore Orioles. But as always, leave your thoughts.
But that's the thing. That's what got us relevant again was our farm system because we got those young talents in, we grew them in the farm, and then when they got to the big leagues, Orioles was relevant again, back to back, postseasons, 23, 24. Like I said, 25 fell off and just never recuperated. They put it on the manager, but it was just our talent level wasn't there, and that's why we had a fire sale by the All-Star break last year. And surprisingly, the team was still competitive, so that gives us hope, that the Black and Orange will be back. All right, stick around for more Sports Edition.